Imagine a society where it's the women who choose their partners, where the men are only permitted to visit at night, and marriage doesn't work the way most Westerners expect. It sounds too strange to be real, but that's exactly why I came here. Welcome to Lugu Lake.
This is a fantastic way to enjoy the lake.
A stunning mountain lake on the border of Yunnan and Sichuan provinces. It's famous for incredible scenery and a culture that has fascinated outsiders for decades. But are the women here really free to choose different partners whenever they want? I'm here to see how much of the legend is actually true. Let's find out.
I feel incredibly lucky to be here in the traditional home of the Mosuo people. And I've just had lovely tea. There's a lady there. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. This is a Mosuo woman. So the hair here on this lady traditionally is taken hair from her mother, her grandmother, and all the women, well, for as long as they can sort of have the hair for, and they build upon that, and that's this hairpiece. 重不重? It's very heavy. It's very heavy. In this society here, it's matriarchal. But what I found really, really interesting, apart from that, which we're going to find out more about in the days to come, thousands of years ago, they came from Qinghai, they came from Gansu. So actually, like Western Sichuan, like Tibet, there's also that sort of Tibetan culture. You can see a depiction of Lhasa there. And of course, they're Tibetan Buddhism. That's the religion they follow. So a lot of similarities. It's very interesting for me because, of course, I was in Qinghai last year to see that and to feel that. And so fortunate to be invited into their home. Guys, this is absolutely beautiful, this place. We've got the lake behind me, which will go down shortly. And look at all this sort of forest, and natural woods and forest. It's everywhere. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a fantastic way to enjoy the lake. The water is so clear. Being on this boat, we've got a private boat. Feel very, very excited. 70 RMB, 70, so about £8-9 to come on the boat on this lake. And it's a must. I mean, the whole point of being here is to be amongst the lake and amongst these Mosuo people. It's really, really beautiful, wonderful. So this gentleman here, Mr. Ma, he's out on the boats pretty much every day. And I asked him, I said, if you're out on the boat every day, can even this beautiful landscape become boring? And he told me, 生没疲劳,生没疲劳in Chinese basically means exactly tired, bored of the beauty. And that's what he said. Guys, I say this on all my videos, but if you get a chance, get yourself to China. Get yourself on the border between Sichuan and Yunnan and get yourself here to Lugu Lake. It is absolutely stunning. And the culture is incredibly diverse and different really to anywhere else in China as well. This is Lugu Lake. So the main event is tomorrow, but this is the eve, I guess, of the Zhuanshan festival. Apparently the most important festival to the Mosuo people, a bit like Chinese New Year or Christmas, I guess, for me. So here, lots of people, lots of tourists, and the locals behind me are dancing. Hopefully I can get through. I've got a media pass, so hopefully I go in, have a dance. There you go. Hello? Hi. Hi. Everyone's very friendly. You dance like this, two fingers together. It's very exciting, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun here, but I seriously wonder about some of the tourists, men and women. Whether they think by coming here they can get a sort of maybe a one-night stand or two. Because of course a lot of people have misunderstood, and probably I did as well before I came here, the Zhouhuan, the Mosuo people's relationships they have, men and women, boyfriends and girlfriends. A lot of people think that men or women choose their male partners and they change them night by night. That apparently is not the case. But I think for a lot of people in China, they still think, or they think that is the case, in that you come here for this town and maybe you get lucky. But I don't know if it starts with a dance. I've stopped dancing, by the way, I promise. Look at what I'm wearing this morning. Actually, it's traditional clothes of the Mosuo people. We're at the foot of the, I believe it's called the Gede Goddess Mountain here. This, of course, is the start of the annual, the once a year Zhuanshan festival. So the Walking Around the Mountain festival. It's the most important festival to the Mosuo people. And we're here to film it, check it out and learn a bit. just almost at the temple now. You can see it's just behind me, and there are lots of monks or lamas. 你好，你为什么在扔这个呢？
这就是我们洗起来祭活佛菩萨。
菩萨。
祭给菩萨的。
祭给菩萨。So right at the top of the mountain, of the temple here, this is in fact a temple to the local deity. In fact, very, very similar to what you'll find in Qinghai. The culture is very similar. I think actually hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, the people here came originally from Qinghai and other areas of China, and that's why they have the local deity here. And of course, they also have Tibetan Buddhism. So it's a mixture of two sort of religions, you can call them, but also cultures. I just asked a lady here why she was throwing sort of a mix of barley and corn, and she says it's to give Buddha, give pusa, and eventually also the birds will eat it. So again, it's a real mix of different cultures here in China. A lot of people outside of China think there's really just the Han majority and nothing else. And actually the Han majority perhaps control everything and don't let sort of other religions or other cultures spread. That's obviously not the case. It's alive and well here. And here you've got a mishmash of two different cultures, not colliding though, but working perfectly together in harmony. It's really, really interesting to be a part of. Like most places with Tibetan Buddhism, you go around 3 times and you cannot go backwards. Anything less than 3 times is not good luck. And certainly going backwards is no good. I just spoke to the old lady who was lighting the candles there, 86 years old, a local, a Mosuo person. And I asked her why she came here. The mountain goddess is not only important to the Mosuo people, it's one of the most important things in Tibetan culture. So it just goes to show that Tibetan culture and Tibetan Buddhism is really, really important here. Even though, of course, we're quite some distance away from Tibet, we are on the border between Sichuan and Yunnan. But here in southwest China, Tibetan Buddhism plays a really, really important role, especially amongst the ethnic minorities. I think in the West, there's a lot of misconceptions about Tibetan Buddhism, especially about the monks of Tibetan Buddhism. In that perhaps they go off to be a monk and that they're never really seen again. That's the end of their life. For a lot of these guys, the reason they become a monk more often than not, at least in years gone by, was because with a family with not so much money but with a lot of children, they literally couldn't afford to feed them all. So 1 or 2 would go off and be a monk. Same with the nuns. And then aside from that, when they go off to be a monk, they're free to sort of go home whenever they want on the weekends, when they've got days off, when there's little to do. So they go to their nearby family, eat, see friends, attend birthday parties and so on. So it's not quite what people think. They're real members of the community. And an event like this, which is both a religious, cultural event, they're the entertainment as well. And there'll be someone's brother, someone's uncle, and you'll see them down the shops tomorrow or out for dinner the next day with an iPhone perhaps. And it doesn't take away necessarily from their spiritualness, from their religious aims, but those things are very, very practical here in China. Same with Tibetan Buddhism. I'll give you an example. When I first arrived here, I just assumed that Tibetan Buddhists wouldn't eat meat, but actually most of them do eat meat. Apparently, one of the reasons was most places where Tibetan Buddhism has thrived, up in the mountains, remote areas, the only sustenance you could get was from animals, not much fruit, not many vegetables. And now they've sort of continued that. So that's another example of sort of misconceptions. You can see behind me the Tankar. It's absolutely huge, a really, really important part of Tibetan Buddhist culture. And there are 2 cranes up there. Why? Because it's absolutely huge, huge Tankar. I, in fact, have a very small one. I can show you. Talking about Tankar, let's get that absolutely straight. I have a very small Tankar, a circular one of a face, but the traditional Tankars are more sort of rectangular in shape. And as I said, hand painted. This one's absolutely huge. Of course, the biggest festival of the year. Taking it up, and then the cranes are going to lift it up. This is history of Tankars. I'll tell you very, very briefly. Basically, Tankars, Buddhists, Tibetans, this whole southwest China area, a lot of them were nomadic peoples in years gone by, herders, yaks and so on and so forth. And so they want to pray at temples, but they couldn't always because they were on the move. And so they would have these Tankars, these sort of big representations of the Buddha, and they would carry them with them wherever they went, so in their tents. And when they stopped at a place for a night, they would hang it up. And that's exactly what's happening here, but on a huge, huge scale. Never seen such a large tanker in my entire life. You can see behind me, it's absolutely huge. And they're singing, apparently, in the local language. So this is more of a traditional Mosuo people's home. So I feel very lucky and very fortunate to be able to see a real home. So this isn't a museum. This is someone's home. And as you can see, some of the structures, some of the buildings are really quite old. But they keep it like this. You know, there are modern parts of this home as well. But the wooden structures are really, really important to the Mosuo people. And so they keep that every building. And I tell you, in 50 years, and 100 years, and 200 years, even if they have high rises, they'll have, amongst the high rises, they're wooden, the Zumufang. They'll have that wooden building as well. It's important to their culture. But this is so lovely. Imagine living in a courtyard like this and having trees and plants amongst you. It's like sort of modern meets the natural world. I absolutely love it. You can see here they've got in English and in Chinese characters, flower house. So this is it. This is the Zumu, the Zumufang. So grandmothers, or the most important female in the family, the stove where cooking is done, and the sort of the parlour room, use a bit of an old-fashioned term, but the parlour room, the most important room in all of the Mosuo people's homes. Of course, this is a matrilineal, a matriarchal society. So the grandmother is the head of the family, and so she has the most important room, and this is where people convene for important events. This being China, of course, and this being it's a real person's home, but it is open to the public. And so, of course, you have the current chairman of Prime. That fire needs to be going all year long. It can never go out. Why? I asked her. She couldn't really explain it in Chinese, but she said it's important that fire never goes out. And here behind me is an incredibly, incredibly important room. Unfortunately, I can neither film it nor go in there. And the reason is this: that is the birth and death room, and it's an important part of the Mosuo culture. So don't forget, guys, we're in the Muzuwu, so this wooden room that every Mosuo family will have, and attached to it is the birth and death room. So in years gone by, when there weren't so many hospitals in this area of China, the mums would give birth to children in there, and when older people or people died, they would be put in there for days or weeks or months, according to the Buddhist monk would tell them. They would work out how long they need to be in that room for, and then after that period of time, whether it be 10 days or 20 days, they'd be taken up to the mountain for the vultures to eat. So an incredibly important room. This is the grandmother, the Zumu. Ni hao. Hello. Hi. And she's just explained it to me. She's here. She's just explained to me. So this is where she does, where she makes all the goods here. So the bags and the belts. In fact, all of their clothes are made here. But then they also make things for sale. So you can see the weaving behind me. Lots of wonderful bags behind me. These are absolutely beautiful. Some of these are absolutely beautiful. I really should get a website and start selling these things. I'm serious about that, guys. If anyone's interested in that, if anyone thinks that's a good idea, let me know. Maybe on Etsy or something. I'd really help these people. Help myself, obviously, to make some money, but really help these people reach a bigger audience. Southwest China, from basically Sichuan, Yunnan, off into Qinghai, Tibet, all these places, so many different ethnicities with wonderful, wonderful goods. If people think that's a good idea, please put in the comments below or message me. Perhaps I'll set up something and get sales going. Wonderful clothes and belts and so on. So I've bought this lovely sort of scarf kind of thing and a bag made by the mum, made by the Zumu. Xie xie, thank you.